Good morning. Carter DeMay, Assistant Superintendent here at Forest Hills Country Club. Going to take a few minutes to talk about Bermuda Eradication program and our approaches. We're on number 11 of the championship course. You can see some of the injury to Bermuda grass that we've been spraying out in the approaches. The injury that we're seeing here on number 11, this is a little over 2 weeks removed from our application date. We already are starting to see some injury to the Bermuda grass that is encroached into these approaches all the way around this right side of number 11. That's the browning out that we're seeing in the Bermuda grass with some green zoysia that's intermixed in there, still thriving. And actually, one of my favorite parts about this program so far that we've done is this spot right here. This zoysia grass square that you see that is just untouched, uninjured by this application is just thriving. That sod was laid about 5 or 6 weeks ago, so very well established by now. And we love that with this application, we see all this injury around that zoysia grass sod that is established in the Bermuda. It's kind of a neat little test plot. We're kind of using this this little spot on number 11 as like the poster child of this application being safe on zoysia with having good efficacy to helping with eradicate Bermuda out of the warm season zoysia grass that we have in our approaches. As we're walking around this approach, you can see that there is a lot of injury. We had a high population of Bermuda grass encroached on this approach of number 11. And as we have mentioned and communicated a couple of times, number one, it's going to get worse before it gets better with the injury to the Bermuda grass, but that is expected. We want this Bermuda grass to get injured. It's going to start continuing to thin out as it starts to go away, die off from this application. But that's the goal, is we want to get rid of this Bermuda because it creates challenges to playability in the approaches, uneven, varying rates of growth. It starts to encroach into our bent grass greens and the collars, which we've been on a program for the last 2 years of controlling it in the bent grass collars of the greens as well. So spraying it out in the zoysia grass approaches is just in conjunction with that, controlling it in the bent grass collars of our greens. And we're going to continue that on the back 9 approaches here. We'll look at some other ones. But we're fully prepared as we make our second of 3 applications this year in 5 to 6 week intervals to see this Bermuda to continue to decline. And we will continue to evaluate how quickly we need to regrass some of these approaches due to the eradication of the Bermuda grass. Now we're here on 12, where this approach had gotten regrassed 5 weeks ago. A lot of winter kill from Bermuda grass from this winter. And this just shows what we'll be looking forward to after our second application. We want to wait until after our second application of our program before regrassing, because as we get past that second application and get as much injury to existing Bermuda as we can and cut that out and regrass it with zoysia, clean zoysia, we then go into maintenance mode on what remaining Bermuda may be there. And now we're keeping already clean zoysia as clean and free of Bermuda grass contamination as possible. And so 5 weeks ago this was sodded. There may have been a little bit of Bermuda grass that came back, or a little bit of Bermuda grass contamination in the sod we got from the sod farm. But there is not a whole lot of injury to any Bermuda grass in this 5-week-old sod. Whereas where you get where we ended sodding, right here by this white line, there was still a little Bermuda grass right there around the collar of this green. And it is getting injured, as the 11 was. But different from number 11 is what remained on this approach did not have a high population of Bermuda grass. There's actually quite a bit of good zoysia still in this part of the approach and surround of number 12. we will see how well this zoysia grass reclaims the space taken by the eradicated Bermuda. As we evaluate how well the zoysia grass grows into the space left from the eradicated Bermuda, we'll determine whether it needs to be sodded or if we feel like the zoysia is reclaiming it well enough that we can promote that zoysia to continue growing and filling in that space. We're walking up to number 15 approach. I wanted to show you number 15 because number 15 was on a full fairway spray program last year for this same application, as well as number 8. Now I want to show you 15 because as we sprayed the approach, we left ourselves a little gap to be safe from spraying anything into the collar of the green. So what you're seeing here is what buffer we left between where we sprayed with our spray rig and the space we gave a little buffer for up to the green. So we had a safe distance from the green to not cause any unnecessary injury in the non-target zone. You see this same level of injury in the approach on number 8. Like I said, was also on that fairway program. And so it's very minimal damage to some Bermuda that was remaining on this approach on 15. And again, we want to make 2 applications of this 3 application program before determining the areas that need sod. It's about 5-week intervals between applications because at that 5-week interval, we will see that Bermuda, it's a really strong turf type, try and regrow and recover from the injury that we have put on it with this chemical intervention. So as we approach that 5th week from this first application and get ready to make our second application, that Bermuda recovering and trying to recover from this initial injury, it's when we're going to spray it again. And that'll keep it in a constant state of being damaged, being injured, and that'll further desiccate it to a level of thinning out enough that zoysia is going to start coming in and reclaiming that space where it was at. The zoysia is going to be able to compete for that space better with the Bermuda grass. And then after that second application, and we see the level of injury we get, that's when you may see us start cutting out and regrassing approaches like number 11 and number 14, which are our 2 most populated approaches with Bermuda grass. As we've mentioned before, it will get worse before it gets better, but that is part of the plan. We want to get after this Bermuda as best we can, get it out of our approaches so we can have good, clean zoysia grass approaches. As it gets worse, we are prepared and have plans for regrassing good, clean zoysia into the approaches like 11 and 14 here on the back 9 where it's the worst. And rest assured, Easton's keeping a good eye on us.